Local telecast of the PBS NewsHour is provided in part by
the New Mexico Humanities Council, seeking to understand who we were, who we are, and who we hope to be. The New Mexico Humanities Council, proud to support public and interpretive programs throughout New Mexico.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to say a big thank you to all you Sherlock fans out there for your continued support and love for our show, which we're also very proud of. We really hope you enjoy the new season on Masterpiece on PBS. I really like not only PBS as an entity, but the idea of PBS to inform and entertain and reach people.
Critics are raving about Victoria.
You cannot lecture me.
The world will be watching. You are a queen.
I am not a piece of clay to be molded by any hand.
She will not be ruled.
Fire!
When you give your heart, it will be without hesitation.
Victoria, Sundays at 9/8 Central. Or watch the full season now, exclusively on Passport.
Are you hungry for more of the Great British Baking Show? Now you can get all the pudding, cakes, and pies your heart desires.
This is absolutely delicious.
As a member of this PBS station, you can stream 3 full seasons of the Great British Baking Show plus masterclass episodes. Now available in Passport. Catch up anytime.
There we are, the crowning glory.
Become a member now. Sign in and start streaming Passport today.
Get extended streaming of PBS programs by becoming a KRWG TV member at krwg.org or toll-free 1-888-922-5794. Passport is only a benefit for television memberships at the $60 level or higher. That's just $5 a month for sustaining television memberships. Current $60 a year TV members can email feedback at nmsu.edu to unlock Passport. New members join us at krwg.org or 1-888-922-5794. Listen live to KRWG Radio anytime at krwg.org.
Local support for a portion of today's programming is provided by Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggie students goes beyond just banking. By supporting NEWS22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.
Tonight on NEWS22.
The NMSU community comes together to trump hate.
Las Cruces Mayor Ken Miyagashima prepares for his State of City address.
And love is in the air here in Las Cruces.
NEWS22 starts now.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV NEWS22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alexa Baca.
And I'm Shelby Montgomery. The concern over the Trump administration policies brought out a group of students and faculty this morning.
Aggie Solidarity and the Bernocrats organizations gathered in front of Corbett Center to make their feelings known. Some of the issues discussed were the executive orders regarding immigration, the Dakota Access Pipeline, and issues on women's bodies. Lillian Cifuentes from Aggie Solidarity said they decided on a rally and march to show students that all of their issues matter. Another march.
We want that unity to be a continuation of our efforts in order to get President Chancellor Carruthers and his administration to listen to us, first of all, and to actually work with us to make those changes that we are looking for.
Another march, the March for Science, is set for Earth Day, April 22nd.
Another issue demonstrators are concerned with is the idea of a sanctuary campus.
While many of President Trump's executive orders have shocked the nation and certain issues have set a worry and even fear within universities across the U.S. That is federal funding regarding sanctuary campuses. Reporter Tanya Barba has the story.
No hate, no fear, refugees are welcome here. No hate, no fear, refugees
Being a sanctuary campus means a campus will not cooperate with federal immigration officials if they come to campus and ask about a student's status without their consent. The concept started as a movement back in the 80s, and it has attracted more attention since the recent election. And that attention has now come to the city of Las Cruces, and especially to students here at NMSU. Chancellor Gary Carruthers issued a statement that NMSU will not be a sanctuary campus on December 2nd, but will not discriminate on a basis of immigration status and will not prohibit federal law enforcement from coming onto campus. He says doing so would jeopardize federal funding. Liliana Cifuentes from Aggie Solidarity says she prefers NMSU to go all the way to a sanctuary campus and ban federal immigration officers.
A sanctuary campus is important, mostly because it affects all of our students and not just a small percentage, not just the marginalized students. NMSU is based on diversity, and that diversity is important in order for, future research and getting our students to finish their education and contribute to the world in a positive way in the long run.
Alejandra Lerma is an international student from Mexico. She says recent executive orders by President Trump make her feel vulnerable, but knowing that the university cares gives her comfort.
It makes me vulnerable, so it would mean a lot to me to know that my institution is behind me if anything happens.
Sociology professor Julie Rice says the issue has brought awareness to a vulnerable student population here on campus.
Definitely a lot of fear out there. Some faculty members have had, students come that are undocumented and are frightened.
And she too prefers the full sanctuary campus designation.
The fear is very real out there, which goes back to this larger issue that, and this is one of the issues that, I feel very strongly about, is that we need a public statement by our administration affirming our commitment to protecting our students.
Professor Rice says the march helps bring attention. She is part of a new group called Standing With Our Students that holds listening sessions. She says the group is determined to bring peace and encouragement to students so that they know they're not alone. For NEWS22, I'm Tanya Barba.
Congressional Republicans are facing angry constituents while holding town hall meetings. Now New Mexican Congressman Steve Pierce is opting out of formal town hall meeting. Instead, he will be holding a telephone town hall meeting tomorrow. To take part, you need to sign up on Congressman Pierce's website. Much of the anger directed at the Republican is from people who are afraid they will lose health care.
New Mexico's budget problems are hurting cities, counties, and organizations all over the state. Today, State Auditor Tim Keller released the annual at-risk state and local governments. This year's list includes the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security and the Higher Education Department. Counties in trouble include Mora, Cibola, Sandoval, and Torrance counties. Some southern New Mexico villages and school districts are also in danger, including Deming School District and the City of Truth or Consequences. Las Cruces Mayor Ken Miyagashima will give his annual State of the City address tomorrow. The address will start at 12:15 p.m. in the council chambers at City Hall. The public is invited to attend. In the past, the mayor has discussed the improvements of the city while also addressing further solutions to the city's problems. If you can't make it to the City Hall, the address will be streamed on Comcast Cable, Channel 20, or by logging on to clctv.com. It was a nice weekend. This weekend was really nice with the weather.
But it has been cold these past few days.
On The Rest is next, your first look at weather.
After a beautiful weekend, we came back to start off this work week with a lot of rain and clouds. Let's take a look at our current conditions right now. We're looking at cloudy skies, temperatures at 47 degrees, winds coming from the south at 6 miles per hour. Our humidity is at 66%, dew point at 38 degrees, and our barometer sits at 30.12 inches. As for today, we saw a high of 51 degrees, which is below average for this time of year. We should be around 64. We woke up to a low of 42 degrees, and in the year 2014, not too long ago, we saw a high of 78 degrees. But back in the year 1965, we saw a chilly 16 degrees. We didn't see any rainfall today as we're clearing on up, But our yearly rainfall sits at 2.06 inches. That is it for your current conditions. Let's take it back to the ladies on the desk.
Thanks, Andres. The Congressional Budget Office estimates up to 25 million people have health coverage because of the Affordable Care Act.
But now that the Republicans are the majority in Congress, the future of the law is unsure. News22's Selena Madrid reports.
Psychology student Emma Letter says the Affordable Care Act gives her security, that if she gets sick, she won't go broke. She doesn't know what she'll do if the president is successful in repealing it.
I think that he will end up taking it away. I think it'll pass, and if it does, people are going to be at a loss and it's going to be horrible, but he will essentially bring something similar back, I would imagine. I would hope. But I think that insurance companies are going to really struggle, and I think that it's kind of going to collapse. It's going to be really bad.
Ever since the law was passed in 2010, Republicans have said they would have a better plan. But 7 years later, they don't. New Mexico State University public health professor Joe Gladstone says the law has been very good for individuals and the economy. He says most people don't seem to understand it.
The Affordable Care Act has been better for a lot of people in the United States because it's provided access to health care for a lot of people who have not had it before.
NMSU student Charlene Garcia had been on her parents' plan, but was kicked off when she got married. She says it's left her in a bind.
Do you think it has been a negative impact on your life?
I think just the cost I wasn't really expecting, because everything you hear in the media and like what people tell you, that I thought it was going to be free or at least really cheap, and it's over $400 for the both of us, and that's just a lot for two 20-year-olds to have to spend every month. And so I think that's just been the hardest part.
Professor Gladstone says he would have to look at Charlene's plan to see why it's more expensive. But overall, he says the best thing to do is to make incremental changes to the Affordable Care Act.
We need to keep it around, and it actually needs to be funded. A lot of the rules that existed within this law actually are beneficial for communities. I'm a public health professor, so I think on the community level.
For now, Obamacare is still the law of the land. And for Republican President Trump, he said it could take up to a year to come up with a replacement. Selena Madrid, News22.
Stay tuned. Andres will be back with your national forecast.
And later, we see how a couple of campus organizations are celebrating the holiday. More on that when News22 continues.
I'm Norma Bichot, Program Manager for KRWG. Join us January 15th at 8 p.m. for the premiere of Victoria on Masterpiece. Famous for her candor and spirit, Victoria was the first woman who seemed to have it all: a passionate marriage, 9 children, and the job of being queen of the world's most important nation. Join us for 8 drama-filled nights as we watch Victoria's rise to the throne at age 18 through her education and politics, courtship, and marriage. It all begins January 15th at 8 p.m. For more programming information, visit krwg.org.
Watch MHZ Worldview on Digital Broadcast Channel 22.2. Every day, world news and public affairs, and every night, international dramas, all in English or with English subtitles. Worldview is also available on Comcast Channel 395 in Las Cruces and 399 in Silver City, and Spectrum Channel 1271 in El Paso. Become a member anytime at krwg.org.
Welcome back. You're watching News22 Tuesday,
where news matters.
Local florists are some of the busiest people in town today.
According to the National Retail Federation, Americans are expected to spend $2 billion on flowers this Valentine's Day. Floral sales are expected to be slightly higher than last year because the holiday falls closer to the middle of the week. Second-generation florist Marie Huffmeyer says that politics also plays a part in determining sales. Her shop.
Well, Valentine's Day, usually we do a third of our annual income on that one day. And last year was an election year, so this year should be 10 to 20% more than an election year.
Her shop, Friendly Flowers and Tuxedos, is expecting to send out over 1,000 floral arrangements today. Many NMSU students are taking part in celebrating Valentine's Day. There are many organizations selling goods to help students get into the spirit. We want to know what students thought of Valentine's Day. As a part of National Sexual Week, today is the National Condom Day. The Campus Health Center, WAVE, and the Department of Health partnered for a free interactive event. Free condoms and information were given out to inform people about sexual transmitted infections. The event was held from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Corbett Center. Student advocate Amber Atencio had more to say about the event.
We're promoting National Condom Day. Today's Valentine's Day also, and we're handing out little baggies with 3 condoms, a little baggie of lube, and then get yourself tested little coupons. I guess they're not coupons, but they tell you the date when you can get tested.
A Las Cruces couple reached a settlement with the city. That's the first story in tonight's Crime Blotter.
Cruces couple is being awarded $1.6 million after suing the city. 4 years ago, stay-at-home mom Jillian Beck called the police to complain about a neighbor. Officers Isaiah Baker and Joseph Campa responded, and during the encounter, Officer Baker slammed Jillian Beck's face into the gravel, and Officer Campa unlawfully arrested her husband. Both officers are still with the city. Las Cruces police are investigating an armed robbery that occurred last Tuesday. Police say early that morning, 2 men entered a Subway restaurant on Utah Street. One held up the store with a knife, while the other suspect ordered the store employee to hand over cash from the store's register. Las Cruces police have 4 people in custody in connection with the shooting of a 14-year-old boy. Police say the suspects were going to buy marijuana from the boy when they tried to rob him. The boy was shot in the arm. 21-year-old Marcelo Ortiz Berajo and 21-year-old Ashley Ray Martinez are in jail facing charges. Police say on January 31st, they and a friend went to a man's apartment to get the keys to a stolen car. The man shot and killed one of the attackers. For Crime Blotters, I'm Javier Gutierrez.
The Black Students Association of NMSU are having a museum exhibit to celebrate Black History Month. The bongos were playing, creating an upbeat atmosphere as students showed up curious to see the exhibit and learn about Black history and culture. Leaders of the association gave tours explaining each exhibit and answering any questions. The exhibit included various poster boards, historical artifacts, and tributes to impactful people throughout Black history. It ended with the video presentations showcasing current events and looking to the future. Andres is next with the weather.gov national forecast.
Hey folks, let's take a look at our current temperatures across the nation. Right now in Los Angeles, we're looking at 73 degrees, San Francisco at 64, Seattle at 55, and over here, looking down in the Gulf Coast region, we're looking at 63 in New Orleans, 77 in New Orleans, 78 in Tampa, 79 in Miami, 40 degrees in New York City. On our next map, we're going to take a look at a nor'easter that will be moving into the northeastern part of the country. We're looking at a storm system that will bring 6 inches to a foot of snow for cities such as Portland and Manchester. We're looking at damaging winds, causing some whiteout conditions. Expect travel delays for this part of the country. On our next map, we're going to take a look at some severe thunderstorms affecting the Gulf Coast. Cities such as Mobile, New Orleans, Jackson, and Montgomery, Alabama will be affected with this. Torrential downpours are expected, as well as damaging winds, hail, and isolated tornadoes. That is it for your national forecast. We're going to take a quick break, and I'll be back with your New Mexico forecast.
Hi, I'm Michael Newman, host of New Mexico True Television, a travel series showcasing all the amazing things to do in the land of enchantment. Be sure to watch Saturday afternoons at 12:30 and Sunday nights at 10 on KRWG-TV.
You're airborne, but behind the scenes, there's a hidden world keeping you up in the air. Experts to protect your plane, air traffic controllers, and doctors to keep you safe in flight.
He is now having trouble breathing.
Wednesday at 9 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Origami, an ancient art. Now, a scientific tool.
From shape-shifting robots,
totally new products,
to the mechanics of living things.
This folding process of proteins is absolutely essential to life.
Probing the mysteries of the universe.
It has a great role to play in space.
The Origami Revolution on Nova.
Wednesday at 8 p.m. on KRWG TV.
Thanks for tuning back in. Let's take a look at our current temperatures on this lovely Valentine's Day evening. Right now in Farmington, we're looking at 43 degrees, Gallup at 40, 36 in Santa Fe, Albuquerque at 44, Clovis at 38, Socorro at 43, Ruidoso at a chilly 30, Roswell at 44, Deming at 48, and here in Las Cruces, we're looking at 47. For tomorrow, our expected highs starting in Farmington, we're looking at 54, 53 in Gallup, 50 in Santa Fe, Albuquerque at 55, 57 in Clovis, Socorro at 54, Ruidoso at 44, Roswell at 59, 56 in Deming and Las Cruces. Let's take a look at our cities nearby. For tonight, Alamogordo, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, temperature expected at 29, and tomorrow we clear on up with a high of 56 and sunny skies. Up north in TRC, we're looking at temperatures right around freezing, clear skies tonight as well as for tomorrow and a high of 57. Up in Silver City, we're looking at a chilly night. 22 degrees is our expected low. Some clouds here and there for tonight, and for tomorrow we're looking at clear skies with a high of 52. And here in the City of the Crosses, we're looking at partly cloudy skies for tonight, a low expected at 30, and for tomorrow, clear skies and a high of 56. I'll be back at the end of the newscast with your weekend in view, with your 7-day forecast, but right now let's take it back to the folks on the desk.
Thanks, Andres. A man is dead today after a train slammed into his minivan.
That's the first story in tonight's Southwest Minute.
The train hit the minivan in Aurora, Colorado. Police say the driver got under the safety gates but was not able to beat the train. The train T-boned the van and pushed down the track. Witnesses say an off-duty officer desperately waved off to the driver before running as debris went flying. 4 of the 56 passengers on the train suffered minor injuries. Traffic moved slower than usual near Houston Monday afternoon. The reason was that a Pepsi truck veered off the road and landed in a creek, flipping on its side. It is not yet known what caused the crash or if anyone suffered injuries. Both pro-life and pro-choice protesters gathered outside the Reno Planned Parenthood Saturday. It was organized by a group opposing Planned Parenthood. The counter-protest was in support of Planned Parenthood. Republicans in Congress say they plan to vote on defunding Planned Parenthood and other facilities that offer abortions, but that vote has not happened yet. For the Southwest Minute, I am Arlene Barraza.
And Nolan Fox is next with sports.
Thanks, Shelby. Coming up in sports, we'll see how the Aggie softball team started off their season. Hold on to your socks, because I'm Nolan Fox. And I'm next with News 22 Sports.
Spy in the Wild continues with a look at friendship in the animal kingdom. From acts of heroism to perfect partnerships, our spy creatures go deep undercover and record some remarkable behaviors. All from a whole new perspective.
Wednesday at 7 p.m. on KRWG TV.
On Masterpiece. They laughed at my clothes, they sneered at my accent. I've seen the cartoons when I'm drawn as a sausage.
I can't bear to see the prince so humiliated.
So I want to be a father. You will make a wonderful mother.
I hardly think you're in much danger from a harmless flirtation with a married woman.
For 20 years, we've been together every day.
It's a very brave undertaking, sir.
Our little queen has become rather good at getting what she wants.
Victoria on Masterpiece.
Thursday at 8 p.m. on KRWG TV.
This is KRWG TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back, and hold on to your socks, because I'm Nolan Fox with News 22 Sports. Well, spring isn't officially here yet, but the 2017 spring sports season is in full swing. This weekend, the NMSU softball team played their opening series against UT San Antonio. The Aggies swept a doubleheader on Saturday by scores of 9-1 and 4-1. However, they dropped the final game of the series on Sunday 11-3. This weekend, the Aggies will play in the Troy Cox Classic featuring teams like DePaul, Northern Colorado, Bradley, Oregon State, and Tennessee. The men's basketball team is on a skid after they had their 20-game win streak snapped last Thursday against Cal State Bakersfield. The Aggies lost to the Roadrunners 72-53 and 83-71 on Saturday against Grand Canyon. This is the first time the Aggies have lost 2 consecutive games all season, as they have dropped to their 2nd place in the WAC. The Aggies will travel to Edinburgh this Saturday to take on UT Rio Grande Valley. And the Aggie men's tennis team is 5-2 on the season after they defeated Incarnate Word on Saturday but lost to UT Arlington on Sunday. Enrique Osmar earned the WAC Player of the Week for his performances this weekend. The women's tennis team dropped their first home match on Sunday by a score of 4-0 against Houston. They are now 3-2 on the season. And tonight's Play of the Day is brought to you by last night's game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Washington Wizards. Here you go.
Oklahoma City has missed 21 consecutive shots. A steal by Morris. Ahead to Wall. 2-on-1.
And that's all for sports tonight. I'm Nolan Fox, and thanks for holding on to your socks. Still ahead on News 22, Andres will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, Americans are expected to spend a lot of money this Valentine's Day. Find out exactly how much when News 22 continues.
Join great performances at The Pillow, Jacob's Pillow, where dancers and choreographers have long come to practice, perform, and create. Pure joy. Delight in the dancing at Jacob's Pillow, where they never stand still. You have to dance, that's it. On great performances.
Friday at 9 p.m. on KRWG TV.
Next time on Austin City Limits.
Saturday at 9 p.m. on KRWG TV.
The Virtuosity of Frank Vignola and Vinnie Raniolo. Featuring Tommy Emmanuel, Bucky Pizzarelli, and Joe Craven. Coming to you from Music Gone Public, curated concerts for public television.
Saturday at 11 p.m. on KRWG TV.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at our top stories. The NMSU Campus Health Center, along with some other organizations, gave out free condoms today as a part of National Condom Day. February is Black History Month, and NMSU's Black Students Association is holding a museum exhibit all month to celebrate. NMSU students gathered together to hold a Love Trumps Hate march.
Today is a day full of love. $18.2 billion worth of love, that is. That's how much the National Retail Federation projects U.S. consumers will spend on their Valentine's Day this year. The NRF says over $4 billion of that will be spent on jewelry alone, with another $2 billion on flowers. Consumers are also expected to spend on cards, clothes, and an overall nice evening out on February 14th. The average consumer will shell out about $136.57 this year.
Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. We'll be clearing up for the next 2 days. We're looking at 56 for tomorrow, 61 on Thursday. Clouds come back in on Friday with a high of 66, and Saturday and Sunday looks like we're going to see a chance of rain.
Too bad it's not going to be nice this weekend like it was last weekend.
Last weekend was absolutely beautiful. I went out to the park, played with my dog too.
I was out all weekend taking pictures. Good. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Shelby Montgomery.
And I'm Alexa Baca.
I'm Andres Valle.
Good night.